Liu Kang was the one who had the power to summon fire dragons. Sub-Zero had the power of ice, he could freeze anything. And Goro was the one with 4 hands that had tremendous strength. This Scorpion had the ability to invisibility, and Kano had the ability to melt steel. Many people thought that these supernatural characters only appeared in the game. However, this time, they appeared in real life and fought each other. Many years ago, Sub-Zero used the power of ice to freeze a mother and her daughter. When the husband named Hanzo returned, he found that they were already dead. Then he pulled out his sword and began to attack. He killed those who harmed his wife and children. He continued to hold the scorpion knife and chased to kill the remaining accomplices. All of them were defeated by him. Then he saw the killer, it was Sub-Zero. He didn't need to know why they wanted to kill his wife and children. He just wanted to take revenge. Hanzo threw the sword, but it hit the tree. Then he pulled it so hard that the sword cut Sub-Zero's face. After that, they began to fight fiercely. Hanzo's anger all reflected in his actions. Every hit of his knife was fatal and blood was everywhere. However, Sub-Zero was too strong, so he couldn't do anything. After a while of fighting, Sub-Zero defeated Hanzo, and even threw him away. He even took the weapon to kill Hanzo. Hanzo tried his best to crawl inside the house. But he finally turned into a fire. At this moment, there was a man stepping out from the lightning. He carried the other child of the Hanzo family away. Many years later, that child also grew up and had a family. His name was Cole Young. He made a living by freestyle wrestling. In another world, Sub-Zero was preparing full weapons to continue his assassination mission. That day, when Cole finished the match, he accidentally met a man named Jax. He asked Cole, "Where did the dragon mark on your body come from?" Cole's daughter only said this dragon mark was there when her father was still in the womb. In the evening, when Cole's family ate dinner by the roadside, suddenly it snowed and that made the table froze quickly. After that, Sub-Zero had appeared on the road. When he raised his hands, the surrounding snow instantly turned to ice. He walked towards the restaurant, and then raised his hands. This caused more and more ice to appear. At this time, Jax drove up. Cole didn't have time to say anything, and he just got in the car first. Sub-Zero waved again, this time more and more ice fell on them. Jax quickly turned around and got out of there. Sitting in the car, Jax accidentally revealed Dragon Mark. He said that the person with the Dragon Mark had to participate in Mortal Kombat. If they didn't participate, they and their loved ones would all die. Suddenly, Sub-Zero appeared again. Jax let the Cole's family go first, and he stayed to fight. Jax took a gun and walked forward. Just turning around, he saw Sub-Zero in front of him. After a while of fighting, Sub-Zero got hold of the gun, and then he froze it. Even the bullet that Jax shot was gradually frozen by Sub-Zero. Jax's weapon was destroyed by Sub-Zero, then Jax was thrown out, and his hands were clenched. Jax's arms were gradually frozen. After that, Jax's arms were also shattered. Jax didn't have the strength to fight anymore. Cole followed the address Jax gave him, and he found Sonya, who was a member of the task force. Sonya told Cole that he had the mark so he could activate his superpowers. Also, Cole had to join Mortal Kombat. At this time, Cole also found a mercenary named Kano. He also had a mark. However, due to the bad qualities, he was chained by Sonya. While they were fighting, suddenly the power went out. There was an invisible power that hit Code fall to the ground, and so did Kano. Seeing that, Sonya pulled out her gun and shot. A piece of skin gradually appeared. Then Sonya threw the knife over. Cole quickly stood up and fought with Sonya to find the enemy. After that, Scorpion stood on the floor and gradually appeared. The knife it took in its mouth immediately melted. It then went invisible again. Cole and Sonya were knocked down by it. At this time, Kano used Scorpion's saliva to unlock his hand. He then stood up and took out a flare to beat Scorpion once. After that, Scorpion appeared and started fighting with them. It used its tongue to wrap Kano tightly, and lifted him up with one hand. Seeing the dangerous situation, Cole immediately threw out the dagger. Sonya grabbed the knife and turned around to stab the Scorpion. However, the Scorpion knocked Sonya away, and threw Kano to the ground. After the fight ended, Kano finally gained Sonya's trust. After that, they got on the plane to prepare to go to the palace. On the way, they parachuted into a wasteland. Liu Kang had been waiting here since very early. When they met, Kano approached to greet. Meanwhile, Liu Kang released a fireball towards him. Liu Kang led them into the palace and met Thor. Kano wanted to greet again, but Thor also released a lightning towards Kano. Then Thor said these people had to quickly activate their superpowers, so that they could have a chance to win. If they lost this time, the earth would be destroyed. After that, Liu Kang lit a fire, but it was suddenly extinguished. It turned out that Sub-Zero had already chased to the palace. Liu Kang also chased after. He quickly shot out a fireball. Sub-Zero gently dodged aside. After that, he rushed towards Liu Kang, and created an ice blade. Suddenly, there was a steel hat released and flew towards Sub-Zero. After that, Raiden appeared, and the enemy leader also appeared. Sub-Zero stood in the back. Seeing that, Raiden and Liu Kang backed up together, and didn't dare to attack. After that, Thor immediately appeared. The enemy leader ordered his subordinates to take action. Thor quickly stabbed the iron rod into the ground, forming an invisible lightning barrier. He was able to temporarily protect Cole, so he had enough time to activate his superpower. Kung Lao practiced with Cole, while Liu Kang practiced with Kano. Meanwhile, Jax was also saved and fitted with prosthetic arms. One day, when they were eating together, Kung Lao made Kano angry. Kano roared fiercely, but unexpectedly this successfully activated his superpower. Kano was overjoyed. Although Cole practiced a lot, his superpower hadn't been activated yet. At this time, Thor came to find Cole, and told him about his true identity. He was the only descendant of the strongest ninja named Hanzo. However, Cole was so useless. This made Thor extremely frustrated. So he launched a lightning to open the door for Cole to leave the palace. Meanwhile, the enemy leader was continuously increasing his fighting force. This masked man said he had a way to break the lighting barrier. After that, he went to Kano, and said a few words that caused Kano to explode with his evil nature. Kano used his power to destroy Thor's iron rod, so the barrier was also broken. After that, the enemy leader led his subordinates into the palace. At this point, Jax was defeated. Meanwhile, the masked man had extremely flexible mobility. He could gently dodge Liu Kang's flames. Sonya had no mark, so she was also suppressed. After a while of fighting, she was knocked to the ground. Kano also rushed up and threw Sonya away. Then he used a laser to cut the stone statue's hand. As for Cole, when he got home, he had to face the monster Goro with the strongest fighting power. At this point, Goro threw Cole away gently. Cole quickly stood up and lured Goro into the warehouse. He broke the ceiling pillar and tried to lure Goro inside. However, all of that was in vain. When he was about to be crushed by Goro, his wife came out and hit its hip with a stick. Goro waved his hand to slap Cole's wife, then she was thrown out. The daughter ran out to help her mother up. They quickly ran into the car and drove away. Goro angrily blocked the front of the car. It even grabbed the axe and frantically knocked on the car. At this moment, a suit of armor suddenly appeared on Cole's body. He quickly stood up and rushed towards Goro, but he was thrown away by Goro. The armor showed red light and quickly healed Cole's wound. Cole still tried to rush forward, then broke one of Goro's arms. Cole then did a somersault to knock Goro down. But Goro threw Cole away. After that, it screamed frantically, and continuously attacked Cole. However, Cole also knocked Goro to the ground. Then Goro flew up and unleashed a powerful blow. The attack energy transferred from the armor to both of Cole's hands created a pair of swords. Cole continued to rush towards Goro, and frantically slashed at Goro's body. Meanwhile, when Jax saved Sonya, he activated his superpower. His prosthetic arm suddenly evolved, so Sonya was saved. At this moment, Thor appeared and started transmitting signals. These people gathered, then they were given a mission. After that, Jax attacked Scorpion fiercely. Meanwhile, Sonya also killed Kano, and she then inherited his mark. Then she used a laser to knock Nidera away. And Liu Kang's flame summoned the appearance of dragon. After that, Cole entered the ice world, and he discovered that his wife and daughter were frozen. Seeing this, Cole was extremely indignant. He began to fight Sub-Zero. However, with Sub-Zero's ability to freeze everything, Cole couldn't fight him at all. When Cole was about to freeze, suddenly there was a necklace going through Sub-Zero. It turned out that Hanzo came back from hell. After that, Hanzo threw Sub-Zero away. He was determined to kill Sub-Zero. But Sub-Zero also quickly stood up and pulled out his ice dagger to start fighting. During the fight, while Hanzo was spinning in the air, Sub-Zero quickly hid to the side. At this time, Cole was also starting to join the battle. Hanzo and Cole joined forces to attack Sub-Zero, so Sub-Zero could only defend. After that, he froze Hanzo's legs, then rushed over to kill Cole. Fortunately, Cole stabbed the chest of Sub-Zero with a dagger. Hanzo used hellfire to melt the ice. Cole's wife and daughter also woke up. After that, Hanzo threw out a chain. Cole quickly caught it and threw it at Sub-Zero. Finally, Sub-Zero was killed and Cole saved his wife and daughter. At this time, Hanzo took off his mask and released a flame to burn Sub-Zero's body. After that, Hanzo said goodbye to Cole, and then disappeared in a flame. At this time, everyone had arrived. Thor used lightning to drive away the enemy leader. Meanwhile, Cole said goodbye to his teammates and returned to his normal life.